A vampire with a coffee habit, a troll and a lieutenant are just three of the weird and wonderful characters that are coming to Nuffield Theatre this January. Southampton University Players will be putting on a production of the best-selling Terry Pratchett novel, Monstrous Regiment. And here to talk to us about the show is its director, Imogen Higgs. Thanks very much for coming in, Imogen. So first of all, just tell me, what is this Terry Pratchett Monstrous Regiment? What's it about?
So it's a story about a girl called Polly who lives in a very strict country. So as a woman, she's not really allowed to do anything at all. She can't own property, she can't go out on her own. And her brother has been taken off to war in this never-ending war, and she wants to go and find him. So she cuts all her hair off, dresses up as a man, and off she goes to join the war. And she meets this ragtag bunch of people. There's an Igor and a troll and a vampire, and they have a very silly lieutenant who does more damage to himself than to the enemy, and so it's their story of them going off to war.
And lots of people will know Terry Pratchett, of course, but for those of us who, maybe know less about it or don't know about it, tell us a bit about the kind of appeal and the thought behind it, because it's not set in the real world, is it then?
No, it's, it's set in the Discworld, which was a series that Terry Pratchett wrote. So there's about 25 books, and it covers lots of different places and worlds. And so those who read Terry Pratchett will know there are certain characters that everyone loves, which appear in the play. So there's William de Worde and Vimes, who are sort of big, long-standing Terry Pratchett characters who they get to see. But it's a disc-shaped world on the back of 4 elephants that stand on the back of a giant turtle that sort of goes through space. But it's more
as they do
steampunk rather than fantasy, I would say.
Okay. And how do you have all sorts of incredible costumes to convey this, or is it all in the imagination? So
the set, we're going for a very plain-looking set because we're changing all around the world. They're going all over the country trying to fight this war. We have a large book at the back which shows exactly where they are so people can keep up. But costume-wise, I think the most challenging was a 7.5-foot troll.
Right.
Which moves and talks and...
It's not just a 7.5-foot person.
No, he's 6.5. It's a person inside a very, very big costume, and so it's not a puppet. It's not just something that sort of wheels on and wheels off. It's an actual costume, which is amazing.
How do you make that? How do you get hold of that?
You make it per person. I didn't do any of that. I'm not technical. But our Adam, who plays our troll, made his own costume, and we have a blog about the production that's on our website, and it goes through how he's done a special one that goes through how he made it, so lots of foam and bits of wood and a bicycle helmet and things.
Blimey. And apart from the costumes, what's been the most challenging thing about putting on a play that's just set in somewhere so different, it seems, from here?
I think for me, as a director, characters, depending on, wherever you set them, people are people generally, and they have the same sort of emotions, and the idea is to get that through, even though you're wearing a 7-foot troll costume. But I think people in their minds will have a very strict view on how they view Terry Pratchett and Terry Pratchett's work. And I was, I read all the books in my youth, and I loved it. So the challenge for me is doing that book justice, so that it comes across in the right way for him. Well, as I suppose our SUP sort of montage for him, and the work that he wrote. So.
And the Southampton University Players, are you all students, or how does it work?
So we started off, we're 50 years old, and we started off as an alum and lecturers group.
Right.
And then over the years we have expanded, so now we welcome anybody who lives in Southampton who wants to get on the stage, and we do 2 shows a year. We do a big show at the Nuffield and then a smaller show, as well as entering into festivals and things like that. So we've got a long history with the Nuffield.
So you don't actually even have to be a student at the university then, really?
No, not at all. We welcome anybody who is interested in backstage or going on the stage or anything like that to come and join us. So I went to the university, but I don't work there. And I just got involved from seeing the adverts and things on the website. So.
And is it a big cast doing it, or?
Yes.
Okay.
That's been the nightmare. It's not the nightmare. It's brilliant to get as many people involved as possible, but we have a cast of 19. 19. Which is a logistical nightmare. Lots of spreadsheets and trying to work out who's available when. I think you have your main core of our regiment, so you have 8 girls and their 2 leaders, and then the rest are sort of characters throughout the play that they come into contact with. So there's some really memorable, really funny parts, but everybody's got that line that makes everyone chuckle. So it's funny, as well as being, it's a story that looks at sort of why women can't do things. It comes from the Monstrous Regiment of Women, which was a story that said that women were weak and feeble, an essay written. And this play sort of shows that anybody can actually do anything. So there is that sort of serious and why war, and where the benefits of war are, and actually is it destroying a country. But actually it's really funny at the same time. So it's a bit of a... Is it a
sort of serious play that's funny, or is it a funny play that has serious elements? Do you know what I mean?
It's the way that Terry Pratchett writes. He can take a very serious topic and he can make you think about it without banging you over the head with these are serious elements. So there are things that I think you'll walk away and go, that's an interesting point. But at the same time, you'll sit and you'll laugh and you'll enjoy it. And if you don't want to think about those serious things, you can still sit and watch a true underdog story while you sit and watch it.
Got it. Okay, so last off, just all the details then. When's it on? Where can people get tickets? Tell me all.
Okay, so it's on at the Nuffield Theatre between the 31st of January to the 4th of February. You can get tickets from the Nuffield website, which is nstheatres.co.uk. There are group discounts for groups of 8 or more, and a student night on the Wednesday. We also, if you can't find the Nuffield website, you can go to our Facebook page and there's a Book Now button on there. It starts at 7:30 and runs for about 2 hours. So.
Sounds exciting. Imogen, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.